All right, back out in the garage. I'm gonna rebuild this transmission. I was gonna just cut off the tail housing or tail shaft, but turns out you can't. There's a very distinct difference. If you look at the two, this cone-shaped part, I would have to cut the input for the transfer case as well if I just cut this off. So I'm going through the effort. I'm putting in a four-wheel drive output shaft. You can see the big glaring difference there. And as long as I'm doing it, I'm going through and putting in a complete rebuild kit. Right here, this is probably the best tool for rebuilding a transmission. As long as you have the information, it's actually pretty straightforward to do. It does not require that many specialty tools, although this time I did buy some of the specialty tools. Now, I'm not an expert in transmissions, so I'm gonna just put this together. I'll throw the camera on for a time lapse, but I'm not gonna go through and explain this. There's plenty of other videos explaining it, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna leave it to people who know more about this than I do. So let's get started. All right, been hard at it. Didn't film a lot of it because it was me sitting in front of a smartphone watching a video on how to rebuild a transmission. I'm not an expert. That's what I got to do. Next thing I did, modified my firewall. So I got a Hydro Boost master cylinder set up here instead of the vacuum booster. That way I got a normal pedal again. With the bigger brakes of the Dana 60 and 14 bolt, the pedal's been really soft. I want to improve that, get it back to more like a factory feel. So I'm putting in a Hydro Boost master cylinder out of a 2010 Dodge Ram. Should solve all my issues. Still waiting on a couple parts to complete that, but when I get it, I'll show that on video. So right now I'm still waiting on a couple parts to finish up my brake install here. And to put my fuse box back in. I don't really want to drop the engine in until that's all buttoned up because it's easier to do it while it's out. So today I'm going to work on changing out my bump stop. May as well do it while the engine's out. Easier to lift it up. Can actually do it with my engine stand here. So I'll get the tires off, I'll take the springs out on both sides and throw in these new bump stops. Here we go. I got both sides cut off, painted up. You take 3 inches off the end to accommodate the new bump stop. Once the paint dries, I'll get everything else put back together. So I got my bump stop installed. I had to cut some of my inner fender out in order to clear it. The next step, I need to install my shock, go to full bump and get everything set. here's the fun part about a full custom build. Even with a 3-inch extension in here, I still got about a 1/2 inch to go. Come over here, I really don't have much clearance there. So I need to add, I would say, about 3/4 of an inch to this in order to get my bump correct. So I'll have to custom do something. I'll just take a piece of tube and weld a plate on top of it and call that a day. And just weld it direct instead of bolting it down. Gotta wait until I can get my plasma table going before I can create a top plate, but for now this will work. It'll be okay just to move it around. Before I do anything serious, I'll want to extend that out a little bit. Well, there it is, all buttoned up. I just got to swap that lower block out from a 3-inch to a 4-inch block before I do any off-roading, but for on the street, that's fine for now. That wraps it up. I'm done for the day. Back to the engine swap tomorrow.